presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Well, with a 5-game winning streak coming to a close last night, the Tigers hopeful of getting a new streak going tonight. It is a cloudy, overcast night here in Cleveland this evening. A threat of rain all around us, but that makes no difference. We will have baseball this evening. It's the Detroit Tigers and the Cleveland Indians, Game 2 in this series. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Ron Allen. Glad to have you with us here for Game 2 in the series. And Ron, all good things have to come to an end. Tigers streak ending last night. But really, when you start to look at some of the things going on between these two teams, the Tribe's starting to dominate a little bit.
Well, the Cleveland Indians are not playing really good baseball against the rest of the league, but they have absolutely dominated the Tigers this year. They've won all 4 of their meetings. They've been outplayed the Tigers in every facet of the game. Tigers really need to step up here tonight.
Speaking of stepping up, Anibal Sanchez has to get it going because Sanchez really this year has not been the guy the Tigers expected. Hopefully tonight is the night.
You know, I think he's going to have a good game tonight. He's kind of in between as far as which delivery he's going to use. He started out this year with not using the hip turn. Now he's back to the hip turn, the familiar delivery we've watched him with the entire time he's been here, and he's had a lot of success. So I'm a fan that he's gone back to a delivery that he's much more comfortable with.
All right, Ian Kinsler. Well, what more can we say about Ian? Last night the Tigers were down 4-0. He got him back into the game with a 2-run shot. He just continues to pile up big numbers this year.
You know, partner, I remember like it was yesterday. It was July, and Brad Ausmus was out with Ian Kinsler at Comerica Park. It was an early practice session as far as batting was concerned. And since that day, he has been one of the best hitters in the American League. Best second baseman by far. Driving the ball out of the ballpark to all fields, left field, center field. Lots of doubles, lots of extra base hits, tons of multi-hit games already this year after pacing the American leagues in that category last year. He is the leadoff hitter, and he's the one guy that's always on the base pass, and he's really done well since J.D. Martinez has moved to that number 2 spot. Miggy's gotten hot, Victor's gotten hot, but the one constant, the one guy that's been hot all year, Ian Kinsler.
Yeah, and one guy that's been hot all year for the Indians, Francisco Lindor. Big night last night, just a triple shy of the cycle last evening. He also played some defense. We found that out, too.
Dynamic young player with fresh legs. He gets great jumps on balls when he's playing shortstop. He has a great arm as well, and he takes very little time getting back to his feet to make throws across the diamond. He's got a huge smile on his face, and he loves just playing the game. He's one reason why this Tribe team last year got a whole lot better. That's just the defensive side. He will steal you a base, but he has some power. Took Justin Verlander deep last night, had 3 more hits in the game. He had a single, he had a double, and he just continues to not only torch Tigers pitching this year, but he has torched American League pitching since coming to the majors last season. He hit about 350 the second half of the year when he got comfortable. So this young man is special. Lots of real good shortstops in the big leagues. Lindor is one of those.
All right, let's see if we can get the Tigers back in their winning track here tonight after a short break. We'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Johnny Kane. Coming up tonight, Miguel Cabrera absolutely owns Corey Kluber. Hopefully more of the same this evening. Game 2, Tigers and Tribe next. Perhaps some rain showers throughout the course of the night. Hopefully not. Tigers and the Indians in game 2 of the series. Tigers starting lineup presented by the Michigan Ford dealers. It'll be Kinsler, Martinez, and Cabrera in your top 3 spots. Victor Martinez, the DH. Justin Upton has gotten hot, and that's good news. He's in left. Nick Castellanos at third. You've got McCann, Ghosts, and Iglesias rounding out Brad Ausmus starting 9 tonight. And they are facing the right-handed offerings of Corey Kluber.
Last couple of outings for Kluber, even though he checks in with 1 win and 3 losses, he's been pitching like the Cy Young Award winner a couple of seasons ago. Power 4-seam fastball, gets him to 96. He also cuts the fastball, some curveballs, very few changeups. Our MGM scouting report on Corey Kluber. Punch-out presence, 514 strikeouts in the last couple of years combined. Not so fast. His fastball, his 4-seam fastball has been getting hit at a 476 clip and 414. They've been rough on him with runners in scoring position. He cannot get outs.
Well, we'll see what Kluber does tonight against this Tigers offense. No shadows to bother the hitters or the pitcher tonight. It is cloudy and overcast. Lights are on here in Cleveland. And Ian Kinsler steps in. Here we go. The first pitch of tonight's ball game is a strike call. It'll be Kinsler, J.D. Martinez, Miguel Cabrera facing Corey Kluber.
I noticed the last time the Tigers saw Corey Kluber about 10 days ago. He did not try to overpower them like he had always tried to do with the 4-seam fastball. He threw more breaking balls, more off-speed pitches, therefore had an outstanding outing against Detroit.
Yeah, one of his better outings in a while, as a matter of fact. Kluber would finish with 10 strikeouts in that game in 8 strong innings. He'll get fouled back out of play.
That's a 93-mile-per-hour sinker that did not get down. It's up in the strike zone at 93, and Kinsler couldn't catch up to it.
Here are the numbers on that last start on April 23rd. He threw 100 pitches, 10 strikeouts, and no walks.
Yeah, no walks. That's a key stat there.
Here's the 0-2. Kinsler, a defensive swing, stays live. Ian, 2 out of 5 last night, hit a 2-run homer when the Tigers were down 4-0. That cut the deficit to 4-2. But that's as close as the Tigers would end up getting. J.D. Martinez waiting on deck. Now again the 0-2 pitch. The pop-up foul. Let's set it back to the seats and out of play. Kinsler still alive here, starting things off for the Tigers. Kluber is 30 years old, born in Jacksonville, Florida. He won only 9 games last year, lost 16, but his ERA was 3.49. Very little run support last year for Kluber. And again the 0-2. Ian sends a bouncer back to the mound. 1 out.
Let's take a look at the Cleveland Indians defensive alignment presented by Tim Hortons. In the outfield, they've got Brantley, Naquin, Chisenhall back out in right field tonight. Lindor, dynamic shortstop, and made a lot of huge plays in last night's game. Then you have Yan Gomes. Already 8 career pickoffs. Tigers need to be very cautious when they're on the base pass because Gomes will pick you off.
Yeah, he got Justin Upton last night. Here is J.D. Martinez batting .271. Martinez last night 1 out of 5 for the Tigers. And J.D. looks at a strike, 0-1. .647 career against Kluber with a home run. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's in there, 0-2.
It's an outstanding 2-seam fastball at 93 miles an hour. And Martinez saw the ball off the plate, and the action on the pitch, the 2-seam action, allowed to get back to the outside corner. A brilliant job of receiving that ball by Yan Gomes.
Fouled back out of play. Kluber has done nothing but throw strikes. And he got Kinsler on the ground out. He's 0-2 on J.D. Martinez. The numbers are indicating J.D. not quite hitting as much to the pull field this year as he was last year. A little bit more up the middle. They have him shaded that way or shifted that way. And again the 0-2. Bouncing ball pulled. How about that? Right to the third baseman Uribe. And out number 2. We'll bring up Miguel Cabrera with 2 outs. And it also brings us the Bernstein advantage, the pitcher-batter matchup. And how about these numbers for Miggy?
Ridiculous numbers. And 526 batting average against Corey Kluber. Even a little bit better than that against John Lester.
The minimum of 20 at bats. And Cabrera in the ball game last night was 2 for 4.
If you're Corey Kluber, you are facing the game's best hitter, just the way that you would want to in the first inning with the bases empty. Although Miguel is in scoring position himself as we speak.
Ball 1 to Cabrera. Little hit streak going now for Miguel. He's hit safely in 8 consecutive games. Average at 276 on the last homestand. It was hovering around 200. But then he got hot against Oakland. 1-0 is fouled back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
If you're Kluber, you pretty much have to go after Miguel, even though he has the monster numbers against you. 5 career home runs. Because Victor Martinez in the on-deck circle has outstanding numbers against Kluber as well. And so it's very important for Kluber to attack Miguel Cabrera.
Swing and a miss.
Good pitch. Nice little breaking ball there. Took something off of it, about 84 miles an hour. Just enough to get Miguel out in front of it. Told you Kluber did quite a bit of that in his last start against the Tigers at Comerica Park.
Now the 1-2. And Cabrera sends a grounder back up the middle. It'll find a hole for a 2-out single.
Remember that little piece that they did on some of the pitchers around baseball talking about Miguel Cabrera, and Kluber was the last one.
Yep.
And he said, he just hits everything I throw. It really doesn't matter.
That's because it's true.
Let's take a look at the pitch by pitch at how he attacks Miguel. First pitch he misses with, then he comes back with a nice little strike here, then a really good breaking ball, and then Miguel, he finds one and hits right back and through the middle.
That will keep the inning going now for Victor Martinez. 1 out of 4 in the ball game last night for Martinez.
I told you Kluber has a big arm. His fastball will get all the way up to 97 miles an hour on a good day. He likes to cut the fastball at about 88. Doesn't throw a slider, but a lot of times his cut fastball acts like a slider.
Bounce right to the first baseman. Napoli tags the bag for the out, and the Tigers are done in the first. Bottom of the first inning, their starting lineup tonight presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. For the Tribe, it looks like this. Santana again back in the leadoff slot. Then Kipnis and Lindor, who's had some huge numbers career against the Tigers already. Brantley is in left. Napoli is in first. Gomes will catch. Their bottom 3 tonight is Chisenhall, Uribe, and Naquin. And they are facing Anibal Sanchez, presented tonight by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Anibal checks in with 3 wins and 2 losses. The ERA is over 6, an unfamiliar territory for Anibal Sanchez, and the whip is approaching 2. Had a crazy start his last time out against the Oakland Athletics. He had 9 strikeouts in the game, but he walked 7, but he got out of there with a win.
Yeah, gave up 2 runs, 5 2/3 innings. It was a really strange final line for Sanchez.
Sanchez still trying to find himself, trying to get back to the delivery that he's pretty much had his entire big league career, where he turns the back all the way to the hitter.
Sanchez now has gone behind in the count, 3-0.
Told me yesterday he is still searching for some consistency, and apparently it's going to be one of those kind of nights for Anibal.
A 4-pitch walk to Carlos Santana.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense presented by Beaumont Health System. Left to right, you've got Ghosh, you got Upton, Ghost, and Martinez. Third to first, Castellanos, Iglesias, Kindler, Cabrera. James McCann is back for his 2nd consecutive start after spending some time on the DL. 33 double plays turned by the Tigers this year, 3rd in the American League.
Now let's get another one. Here's Jason Kipnis. Only 167 career against Sanchez.
One thing about this entire Cleveland Indians offense, they see nearly 4 pitches per plate appearances as a team. That's quite a bit.
Yeah, as a team. I mean, typically you have a couple of guys scattered in your lineup that will do that.
Apparently, Ty Van Berkeley is preaching some patience. He's the hitting instructor for the Tribe.
Kipnis takes low, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Kipnis has some speed, but he has grounded into 4 double plays already this season. Here's Ty Van Berkeley.
Santana back in there standing up.
Ty and I played together in Japan and for Hiroshima. And back in those days, it was only one other American on the team, so you had to get along.
Oh, 2? That was it?
It was only 2 at that time.
Swing and a miss.
Talk about having a best friend.
Now, I assume you guys got along.
Oh, absolutely. We lived in the same apartment building. We became really good friends with Ty and his family.
1-2 on Kipnis. Just underway here in the bottom of the 1st. The Indians have a runner on with nobody out. And a strike called on the inside part of the plate, and Kipnis did not like that call by Gabe Morales. Thought it was way inside. At least he thought it was.
It's a 91-mile-per-hour fastball with some real nice comeback action to it. He may have been a shade inside, but not as bad as Kipnis thought.
So here is Francisco Lindor. The Tigers had trouble getting out last night. Lindor was 3 for 4, 3 RBIs. And the average now at 315. The home run that he hit last night, Rod, I really didn't realize how much thunder he had in that bat. That ball went a long way for a guy his size.
Yeah, he had a pretty good idea in last night's contest against Justin Verlander. It seemed like everything that Justin threw up there to him, he was all over it. He had 3 hits in the game. Single, double, and a homer against Justin.
Lindor now sits safely in his last 5. Bouncing ball to third. Castellanos waiting for his second baseman. Kinsler's relay is in time. Tigers get another double play. This one goes 5-4-3. Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. Jeep, come discover great deals during the Jeep Drive and Discover events. And by Kroger. As you can see, a little bit cloudy here tonight at the ballpark. Rain all over the area, but fortunately not falling here at Progressive Field. And we go to the second in game 2 of this series. It'll be Justin Upton, Nick Castellanos, James McCann against Corey Kluber. Kluber gave up a single but no damage in that first inning. He threw 15 pitches, 14 of them were strikes. Here's a high chop hit back up the middle, and on the charge, Kipnis throws him out. Ball bounced a mile high, one gone. Here are the field conditions tonight, presented by Ace Hardware and the Scott's Company. It is 55 degrees at game time. We will say a chance of rain because there is some wet stuff in the area, but looks okay right now. Here is Nick Castellanos. Well, he just keeps hitting, man. The average now is up to 368.
And no one in baseball has been better than Nick against right-handed pitching. And with a minimum of 50 at-bats. That's no one in baseball.
Castellanos last night added to his average with a 2-for-4 night. A couple of singles. One of them drove in a run back in the 8th inning of last night's game. Here is Kluber's 1-0. Got himself a 12-game road hitting streak. 426 for Castellanos. Here's the 1-1. Line to left field. Another hit for Nick. That'll make it a 13-game road hitting streak.
He is just seeing the baseball exceptionally well right now. And Corey Kluber throws him a fastball that he tries to get inside. But take a look at Nick and the balance that he has through the swing and how close he pulls his hands to his body after he gets that foot down. Now the hands come close to the body, almost in front of the body. And that gets the barrel of the bat to the area that you need to make the contact. Now look at this. That ball is inside and he's still able to get to it and rip it and back to the pull field. He is really maturing as a hitter. We heard that he was going to be an outstanding hitter before he even got to the big leagues, though.
Well, this year is sizing up to be a tremendous year for Castellanos. James McCann, the batter. McCann 2 out of 18 this year, just returned from the disabled list last night in time for game 1 of the series, which has sent Saltalamacchia back to the bench, at least for the starting role. James has knocked in a couple of runs this year. Ball high from Kluber.
Well, he's got himself in a really nice fastball friendly count. And you know Kluber throws about 93 to 95. So if you're going to take a swing at it, make sure you're ready to let it go. These are the counts that you live for as a hitter.
Missing low, 3-0 the count. McCann returned to the lineup with an 0-for-3 last night.
It's no good time for an injury, but it's probably a little bit tougher after you've gone through 6 weeks of spring training. You're in shape, you're ready to go, you finally found your swing. Then you get hurt the first week of the season and you miss a few weeks. It's tough to get it back going again.
Kluber ready with the 3-0. And he walked him on 4 straight. Now the Tigers have something going here. 2 on and 1 out. Hey, stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day. Tigers Player of the Game coming up after we're done here in Cleveland tonight. Here's Anthony Gose. Gose had a 1-for-3 last night. One out single by Castellanos and a walk to James McCann. And Kluber misses high. Now all of a sudden, from the first inning to the second inning is a much different story. Mostly strikes in the first inning. And he'll get the catcher Yan Gomes to come out. Kluber in his last 2 starts had surrendered just 3 earned runs in 15 innings of work. So he was in a pretty good stretch. Terry Francona has his team at 11-12 coming into play tonight. The Tigers 3 over the 500 mark at 14-11. Here's how the Tigers defend goes. Missed again, 2-0. Ghost will take again. 3 balls and no strikes, and Kluber now is digging a deeper hole.
Talked about these numbers at the top of the show. Opposing hitters hitting .476 against Kluber in these particular situations. .563 on balls put in play.
3-0 is ball 4. He lost him.
That's 8 straight balls.
Back-to-back walks. McCann and Ghost. He hadn't thrown a strike to either of those hitters, and now Iglesias will stand in, but not before Mickey Callaway comes out. And all of a sudden, Kluber has lost sight of home plate.
One of the things that the Tigers have benefited from this season when they score first, and that's winning all of the games they've happened to score first. They are 10-0 in those types of situations. It would behoove them to try to push at least 1 run across the board here in the very first inning against the Tribe's best pitcher.
Well, the Tigers had a 1-0 lead briefly last night.
Oh,
before they took that run off the board.
Oh, right.
Remember? And so they would have scored first last night. It might have been a different outlook to that game had they scored that first inning run. But on the replay, they said that the runner was out at home plate and reversed it. So here is Iglesias now with the bases loaded and only 1 out. And that almost hit him. 1 ball, no strikes on Iglesias.
And Napoli over at first base is playing at the cut of the grass. And the reason for that, there are a lot of managers that believe a guy like Iglesias, when he does hit the ball to right field, he doesn't hit it all that hard. So therefore, where Napoli's at, he can still make a play.
That's in for a strike, and that's the first strike in quite a while for Kluber.
Here's Napoli right here. You can see he's right at the cut of the grass.
Iglesias at 278. Broke his bat, rolled toward first base. They'll come home, throw there to get the force. And there are 2 outs.
They had him in the proper spot. They had the infield in that particular situation, cutting off the run in the second inning. And Iglesias shattered his bat, hit it right to Napoli. Napoli knew exactly what to do, come home to get the out.
So here is Kinsler with 2 away. Bases remain loaded. Castellanos was forced at home plate. Kinsler hit one right back to the mound in the first inning to get the game started. As Kluber tries to wiggle out of a bases loaded jam here in the second. Swing and a miss. 0-1.
And Ian Kinsler just continues to get it done. He got a hanging breaking ball, one of the few mistakes Tomlin made in last night's game, and hit it out of the ballpark. Ian Kinsler already 5 home runs this year.
And 15 driven in. There's a ball high. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a chance if Kinsler obviously keeps this going, he could get to 20 this year in that home run category.
And of course, he'll score a lot of runs, and he'll have a chance to drive in quite a few too,
as he does right now. Here's the 1-1. Popped up foul, back out of play, 1-2. With the way the Indians have pitched against the Tigers this year, the Tigers certainly don't want to let this scoring opportunity go. Take a 2-out hit though from Kinsler.
The Tigers in the 4 meetings so far against Tribe pitching, they've averaged just 2 runs per game. Just 2 runs per game.
The only remaining undefeated team in scoring first. Tigers at 10-0. Foul back. Miggy had to duck out of the way there. Is he going hunting?
He's waiting for Kluber. He's sizing him up.
He's been hunting him for a couple of years.
That much is true.
The 1-2. Line toward right. It is slicing. That'll go foul. About a row back into the seats. Kinsler continues to battle Kluber here. Can you see Miggy in some camouflage?
Yeah, I can see him in some camouflage. He's a piece of work.
Now Kluber again ready with the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him to chase, and the Tigers will leave him loaded. Kluber gets his first strikeout of the game, but it's a big one. Cleveland no score. The Tigers had him loaded with 1 out but failed to score for Sanchez. Anibal goes back to the mound here in the second. Michael Brantley, Mike Napoli, Yan Gomes to face him. Indians got a leadoff walk in the first inning, but a double play ball off the bat of Francisco Lindor ended that frame.
Right shoulder surgery in the offseason for Michael Brantley. It landed him on the disabled list to start the year. He's only been back for about a week. So he hasn't hit his stride yet, even though he hit a couple of balls hard in last night's game against Verlander.
Brantley was having another solid year last year when he tried diving for a ball in the outfield and tore his labrum in September and had the surgery. There's a ground ball right side. Miggy on the backhand. Nice feed, 1 gone.
That's one thing about Miggy that's underrated as far as his defensive play is concerned, is how accurate he is when throwing the ball to the pitchers covering the bag or throwing the ball to second or third. Very accurate, fearless thrower.
Bring up Mike Napoli. Napoli had one of the big hits last night. He came in the first inning. It was a double over the head of center fielder Anthony Gose. Came with 2 outs to drive in the Indians' first 2 runs.
Tigers have Gose playing deeper this year than he did last year, but Napoli still able to hit that ball over his head last night in the first inning. It was a fastball that Justin wanted up, didn't get it up, and Napoli jumped all over it.
Indians last night scored 3 runs in the first inning. The Tigers would go on to out-hit the Indians last night 12-10, but they lost the game. 1-1 pitch starts low, 2 balls and 1 strike. Sanchez had his shortest outing of the season on the 23rd of April against these Indians. He went 2 1/3, 9 hits, 7 runs. Hoping for a much better result here tonight. The 3-1 is popped up. Second base side, Kinsler to the grass. 2 outs.
It was after this particular start, we're going to show you the numbers, that Sanchez, when he went to the bullpen a couple of days after this start, he said, you know what, I'm going to go back to my old delivery. I'm not comfortable with the new delivery. I've got to give myself a chance. I've got to give my team a chance to win. And the best way he felt by doing that was going back to what he's always known.
Here is Yan Gomes now with 2 outs. Strike 1.
Needs to be careful with Yan Gomes. Gomes has outstanding numbers against Anibal Sanchez. He's better than 500 against Sanchez.
One ball, 1 strike. It's one thing, I guess, Rod, to kind of tinker with your delivery and hip turns and all of that, streamlining it when you're maybe pitching winter ball or spring training, but to try and do it kind of on the fly here during the regular season can be tough sometimes.
Well, there's no doubt about that. And to prove your point, just look at some of Anibal's numbers as far as the strikes and balls that he's thrown.
To center field for Gose. Anthony waiting for it, and Sanchez a 1-2-3 second. The top of the third here at Progressive Field. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen, and we're pleased to be joined by the skipper, Jim Leland, who's in town here. Of course, he is a special assistant to General Manager Al Avila. And Skip will tell us what your schedule's been like recently. Now, I know you're loving life at this point with your new job here, but what have you been up to?
Well, I enjoy it. You know, I was in spring training for a month. I watched all the games there. I went up to see the Toledo Mud Hens home opener. I caught the Major League Club, the Tigers, in Pittsburgh when they played. I'm up here at Cleveland. I'm going to be going to Erie. I'm also going to go over to Washington and Baltimore to see a couple games, and then I'm going to go to Erie to see our minor leaguers.
Jim, I guess congratulations in order. We saw you in Pittsburgh a couple of weeks ago, but it hadn't been announced yet that you were going to manage the World Baseball Classic team. Congratulations, and how did that come about?
Well, I was asked last fall if I would consider it. Joe Torre and the commissioner asked me if I would consider it, and I said sure I would. I don't know if it's the best job in the world. It's kind of hard to get some of our players to play, as you know. There's a lot of pieces involved in this, so the United States has never won it. I said I'd be glad to give it a shot.
How are you going to get some of the United States-born players, the big leaguers, to play in the World Baseball Classic? Well, I know it's been discussed.
It's a long process, really. You have to find out from the organizations who would be interested in playing, and then you have to go through the Players Association. They contact players to see if they're interested. And then at some point I would be able to talk to the players, but not before a lot of red tape first.
J.D. Martinez strokes one in the air to center field. Is playable, though, for Naquin. One gone. Jim, I know it's a tremendous honor, but as you mentioned, it is a lot of work. And one of the things I would always think about it, and you probably did as a manager when you sent your players to the World Baseball Classic, hey, get them back to me in one piece. I don't want them injured. And that's something you're going to have to deal with now.
Yeah, I don't want to be phony about this. I did not like it when we lost our players to this because I was scared, just like you said. And I understand the managers, the general managers. I understand them being a little bit nervous about it. But we're going to run it like a spring training. We're hopefully going to send them back real healthy. And hopefully we can do something in this tournament format.
Miguel Cabrera standing in with one out. Chatting with Jim Leland, who is a special assistant to the general manager. And, well, you know, obviously there's a big pool of players, hopefully, for you to choose from. And to sculpt a really good team. But when you look at the past, you know, the Americans really haven't fared all too well in the tournament. This is something that obviously you and your staff, who, by the way, is consisting of Lloyd and a few other guys, Jeff Jones, so you guys can take this seriously to win.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky, though. I think the foreign countries have really participated a little bit more than we have. I think they put more emphasis on it than the United States. And I understand that a lot of people go to spring training to see their players, to see their home team, and they get down to spring training. They're actually a little disappointed when the players aren't there in spring training with whatever club they're with. So it's a little bit tricky, but we're going to try to do it right.
What are you going to do against Miguel when you go up against that Venezuelan squad?
Well, I've already kidded him that I'm going to walk him, but then I realized that Victor Martinez is behind him, so that might not be a good idea. We're probably going to have to pitch to the big guy.
Big guy standing up there right now as he takes the ball up high for Kluber.
Jim, you know, you've been in the commissioner's office the last couple of years. Obviously, you worked in the front office now with the Tigers. What did you learn about some of the things that you're doing now that you didn't learn when you were managing baseball?
You know, I think one of the big things, I've been involved with the umpires a little bit. And obviously, you know, I had my rhubarbs with the umpires during my career. But you know what? I can't tell you how much pride they take in getting things right and how excited they are when they do a great job. I've been with the playoffs and the World Series the last couple of years. I mean, these guys are really into it, and believe me, you know, it's like a manager, a player. You don't want to make a mistake on a big stage. These guys are really into it.
This is what I miss about the game, Jim. I mean, obviously the managers aren't going out and they're not arguing like some of the other managers did back in the day. But
what's wrong with that guy?
This is what I miss about the game. Do you miss this part of the game at all?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you get into it. You know, you get fired up. Absolutely. I think it is part of the game. But, you know, I guess the most important thing is to get the play right.
Victor Martinez standing it now with 2 outs.
You could have been in the command center in New York because you had him out, you had him safe, you had him out again, then you had him safe again.
Yeah, I've been in that command center, and it's not too easy. I've seen 14 replays, and I'm still not sure sometimes.
By the way, for the record, I had nothing to do with that video there.
It's okay, no problem.
Certainly, our producers are working that out. Victor Martinez standing in there now with 2 outs. He'll foul it back. What do you think about this ball club this year? They're off to a 14-11 start. Your impression?
Mario, I really truly believe, I was telling Rod earlier today or yesterday, I think this is the best offensive club since I've been back in 2006 when I came in. And since 2006, I think overall this is the best offensive club. Now, you know, we have to get our starting pitching going a little bit better. We got to get some more innings because we do have a better bullpen. And I think you're seeing Brad Osmus manage that bullpen play like he's playing a violin right now. He's got some better pieces this year, and I think he's doing a great job with it. However, we have to get some more innings out of our starting pitching if we're going to do what we're capable of doing.
Well, Jim, you're doing a great job as well. Thanks for stopping up tonight. We appreciate it.
Okay, guys, you're welcome.
Thank you. The skipper, Jim Leyland. They're still scoreless here in Cleveland. Chisenhall will get it started here for Cleveland as we go to the bottom of the third. Sanchez has allowed just one walk so far, and no problem with that. Got a double play ball back in the first. It'll be Chisenhall and Uribe and Naquin here in the bottom of the third.
Always good to catch up with the former skipper.
Jim's going to be awfully busy next year, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
That team, that WBC team, you know he wants to win. He's got himself a good staff, too. We didn't have time to get into that, but Lloyd will be on that staff. Jeff Jones.
Well, he's very comfortable with Jeff because Jeff did his pitching while Jim was here managing the Tigers. So he's very comfortable with his pitching coach.
2-1 now on Lonnie Chisenhall.
And you could tell by his answer when we talked about the World Baseball Classic, he is committed to putting a real good product on the field and having a real nice showing for the United States.
Well, I think, Rod, a lot of that depends on how many of the players actually want to participate, because obviously you can sit down right now. You and I can pull out a piece of paper and write our 25 best players, 25 best Americans in the game right now, and go with it. But you got to have them participate, and they have to want to.
Well, this much I will say. Joe Torre, he managed the World Baseball Classic when they played last, and he's a respected manager. But there was a poll done among major league players, and they talked about Madden, Francona, and Leland as being the most popular managers in the game, and guys that they would love to play for. So here's a chance for some of those guys that spoke up in Jim's regard to participate in the World Baseball Classic.
Here's Juan Uribe with one out. Uribe looks at a strike 0-1. Getting the start at third base tonight. Uribe just 4 for his last 20.
One thing Uribe has been since coming to the big leagues, and he's been in the big leagues for a long time with a lot of different teams, he has always been a really good fastball hitter.
One is low, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Even though that pitch missed right there at 91, it was a really good pitch for Anibal. Got to a real nice balanced position. The arm caught up, and he threw that ball straight downhill. If you miss, you want to miss down. Nasty. Previous pitch was a fastball in this location. This time he came back with a breaking ball that looked just like the fastball coming out of his hand until it got into the glove of James McCann. Ooh.
Went around, strike 3 called. Uribe is out of there. 2 gone now. Time for a game break. And Trevor Thompson. Next, Trev, the Nats had 16 hits today, and the thumping of the Royals, who really, Rod, are playing all that well this year.
They're not hitting. And they're really not. And they're not hitting at all lately. And because of that, they've lost a lot of games. Speaking of Bryce Harper, do you have him as the best player in the game today, or is it Josh Donaldson, or is it Mike Trout?
I don't know, man. We've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks because Harper has been so good. I guess if you want to say Bryce Harper, I wouldn't argue with you. I think the way I look at that is if you had one guy to pick to start a team, who would you pick? And Harper certainly has age on his side, and he's starting and he's starting to put together really great numbers.
Yep, I love Josh Donaldson. And what he's done, man, in Toronto last year and this year. Yeah, and he's on his way to winning another one.
Tough question. Here's the 2-1. Rolled foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Tyler Naquin.
So far, Anibal looks very good. He walked one batter. That was the leadoff hitter in the game. It was Santana on 4 straight pitches. But since then, he's been filling the strike zone up with a lot of quality pitches. Fastballs firm at 93. Good breaking balls. Good changeups. So far, so good for Anibal.
Naquin was 1 for 3 in the opener, hitting well against right-handed pitching this year. 326 for the rookie center fielder. And the 2-2. Got him in the outside corner, strike 3. Sanchez now with 3 strikeouts, 2 here in the 3rd. And we'll go to the 4th, no score. Who has a story about the artistic side of Miguel Cabrera.
It was a little startling to walk into the visitors clubhouse here at Progressive Field, and on the wall there was a Lego sculpture. Really, it was sort of a flat image of Miguel Cabrera. That was done by the Indians equipment clubhouse manager Wayne Peltz. He spent 50 hours on that thing. He's done other players as well, but you see it, you see Miguel Cabrera right away, and who doesn't want a tribute via Lego? Arian?
I want that. That looks pretty cool. There's the ball hit deep to center field, all the way to the wall. Naquin can't pull it in.
Oh, he should have caught that ball.
Upton will go to second and stop there. A catchable ball for Tyler Naquin, who had his back to the wall but unable to squeeze it.
That's one of the things that they tell you as an outfielder. Once you get to the wall, you cannot get too close to the wall so that you cannot jump. Naquin got all the way to the wall with his back turned, and then he reached up for the ball, and he couldn't elevate because his back was against the wall. What a break there for Justin Upton.
He just flat out missed it. So the Tigers now have the leadoff man on. Here is Nick Castellanos to try and drive him in.
Another good swing there for Justin Upton, who has a hitting streak himself, along with a couple of the other players.
Castellanos looks at a strike.
Runner on second base, nobody out. Runs appear to be at a premium here tonight. Nick has a job to do. He's got to try to hit something through the right side of the infield past Kipnis or Napoli to try to get Upton home, or at the very least get him over to third base with just one out.
There's a base hit to right field.
Ooh, that's a thing of beauty.
Castellanos is now 2 for 2. Upton will go to third and stop there, and the Tigers are in business here in the fourth.
Castellanos has had 2 beautiful swings here tonight against Corey Kluber. First time up, pulled his hands in nicely and hit one to left. This time takes that 2-seam fastball barreling in on his hands and takes the same identical swing. Hands close to the body, outstanding concentration with one thing in mind, and that's getting Justin Upton over to third base.
Tigers now have 4 hits in this game. Still nobody out. Here's James McCann, who walked in the second. So Castellanos, who came in batting .368 to lead the American League, now has 2 more hits
and continues to punish right-handed pitching.
Kluber had all kinds of trouble in the second. He gave up a single, walked a couple of guys. The Tigers, though, left the bases loaded. Then Kluber had a 1-2-3 third. But a much different story here in the fourth. And the numbers indicate that. That long second inning. Bouncing ball toward third on a short hop scoop. They'll go to second. One relay is a double play, and Upton stayed at third. 2 gone.
Ball on the ground in this particular situation. It's a double play ball. If you're Upton, you go home because you want them to get you out. You rather sacrifice the 1 out here versus the 2 out, and Upton did not take off from third.
And Upton knew it too, and he was kind of smacking himself on the helmet after that play. So that gives Kluber an opportunity to get out of this now as Ghost stands in. Anthony walked in the second. Well, the Tigers have been really good at scoring 2-out runs, so we'll see if Ghost can pick up Upton here. Here's the 1-0. Good stop there by Gomes. Tigers had 43% of their runs scored with 2 outs this year. Upton still at third with 2 away. Anthony waiting on a 2-0 pitch. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Just got a piece of it actually to foul it off at home plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. Tigers already have left 4 men on base in this game. They left quite a few in last night's contest. Kluber's 2-1. 2-2 now on Ghost.
And a good cut fastball there thrown by Kluber at 88 miles an hour. Had a lot of late life on it. And Ghost didn't pick it up good and let it go. He thought it was going to be outside.
Got him, strike 3, and the Tigers waste a golden opportunity. Third strikeout of the game for Corey Kluber. Still no score as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning here in Cleveland. TGIF celebrate the end of the work week at Comerica Park this Friday. Get 4 tickets, hot dogs, chips, and drinks for just $19 per person. Visit tigers.com/value or call 866-66-TIGER. Anibal Sanchez has been awfully good tonight. He'll go back to work. Here in the 4th, top of the order coming up, it is Santana. Sanchez has faced the minimum through 3 thanks to a double play after a walk in the 1st.
And last half inning, some of the best command we've seen Anibal with all year. Butterfly change at the 84 with outstanding fading action on it.
Tigers last night and tonight are combined 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position.
That's not going to get it done.
No, it's not. And they've left 14 on base. Not even through 2 games here. Santana had the walk in the 1st. Here's the 2-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. His walk in the 1st inning was his team high 13th already this year. And there's another walk. Leadoff man is on again here in the 4th. Second walk for Anibal. Menards brings you the big money encounter. And here's what the head-to-head numbers look like this year between the Indians and the Tigers. And as you can see, the Indians have whitewashed them so far.
Tigers have been outscored in the 4 games 25-8 and by the Cleveland Indians.
So here now is Jason Kipnis, who struck out in the 1st. Indians have had only 2 base runners tonight, both of them walks. Kipnis looks at a strike. He struck out looking in the 1st inning, did not like the call, thought it was a little bit inside. Had a couple of hits and a walk last night. Runner bluffing and a check swing inside. It was just about this time last year where Kipnis took flight. He had a 51 hit month of May and he hit over 400 last May.
He was the player of the month in the American League that month, wasn't he?
He was indeed. Had a monster month.
Yep, went on to make another All-Star team last year. I was talking to Ty Van Berkeley about him toward the tail end of last year, and he said the Kipnis started driving a lot more balls to left field. He became pull happy when he was injured the previous season and tried to do too much as far as pulling the ball when he came back. And then last year he just kind of got back to hitting the ball the opposite way, and as a result of that he had a really good year. I think he was beefing about a possible balk there by Anibal Sanchez.
Here's the 1-2 swing and a miss. Kipnis out on strikes again.
It's a good changeup there thrown by Anibal and located beautifully down and away from Kipnis.
It's the 4th strikeout for Sanchez in this game. One on, one on. Here's Francisco Lindor. Lindor hit into a double play in last night's game, and he also bounced into one in the first inning tonight. Only 22 years old, yet he leads the team in hits, runs scored, and average. Sliced foul back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Michael Brantley waiting on deck. Tigers certainly have had the better scoring opportunities in this game. Saw Lindor's outstanding defensive ability last night as well, along with the 3 hits, including the home run of Justin Verlander. I'm reading an article on Lindor when he was a young kid growing up in Puerto Rico. His father Miguel would hit him ground balls, but he would never hit him a ground ball straight at him. He would always go to the left or to the right, and he would encourage his son to kind of leave his comfort zone and make the tough plays. Lindor said that as he grew up, the plays in the hole became routine for him. There's a strike on the outside corner.
He has made some plays at this level that would be very difficult plays for most shortstops, but he has looked rather routine making those plays. Cagos, Puerto Rico.
Only 5'11", 190. But he certainly plays much bigger than that. Lindor goes down. He was hit by the pitch. That'll put 2 men on.
And Sanchez going inside with that 4-seam fastball, and he just couldn't get that left elbow out of the way.
So the Indians have had 3 base runners tonight, 2 walks and a hit batter. That's it. Now they have their best scoring chance of the night with their number 4 hitter coming up. No chance Lindor is coming out of the game. That'll bring up Michael Brantley. One ground out at his first at bat. Brantley knocked in a run last night, finished 1 for 4 in the ball game. A couple of years ago where he finished 3rd in the MVP voting.
Yes, he finished behind Victor Martinez and Mike Trout.
In there is strike call.
He has one of the simplest setups of any of the hitters in the big leagues. Very little movement. Keeps his head still. He has really good hand-eye coordination to begin with. But when you have this kind of stillness in your approach through your swing, you're going to hit a lot of balls hard, and that's exactly what he's done since coming to the big leagues. We see guys in all kind of moving parts as far as their pre-pitch routine is concerned in the major leagues, but not Brantley. Just really quiet, really simple.
Ground ball right side, base hit. It'll get through. Here comes Santana rounding third. Martinez's throw cut off. A run will score. It's an RBI hit for Michael Brantley, and the Indians have the lead.
It's a fastball down that Brantley found a seam on the right side of the infield. And by the time J.D. Martinez picked it up in right field, even though he has a strong throwing arm, there was no way that he was going to throw Santana out at home.
So Brantley, who came in as a .329 lifetime hitter against the Tigers, does it again.
Anibal Sanchez is going to have to keep him close. Brantley does have the ability to steal a bag. And the Tribe have been a running team this year. They've already swiped 19. Rajay Davis has 7 of those.
Here is Mike Napoli, still only 1 out. That is the first hit given up by Sanchez.
Here's the quietness in the swing I was talking about regarding Brantley. You see he barely picks that front foot up. So his head doesn't move, his body doesn't go forward. And as far as taking a swing with good balance, it doesn't get much better than that from the left side.
Slicing away from Martinez in right field, not going to get it, drops in. 1 run scores. Brantley will go to third, and Napoli has a double to drive in a run. Sixth double this season.
Well, the hit batter and the base on balls have come around to score. And J.D. Martinez was playing Napoli in right center field, and that's usually a ball that he will catch. But because he was so far over towards center field, he was not able to get there.
Now the pitching coach, Rich Dubey, comes out to have a chat with Sanchez, who's had his first rough part of this ball game. He was cruising through 3. Napoli has his 14th RBI. Now they have him at second and third, and only 1 out. Here's Yan Gomes. Gomes hit a fly ball to center his first at bat. Fouled away 0-1. First 2 hits of the ball game for the Indians, and both of them drive in runs. RBIs for Brantley and Napoli.
Tigers had their opportunity in the top half of the 4th inning. Runners on first and third, nobody out, and they did not score a run.
That'll get away from McCann to the backstop. It goes, and scoring standing up is Brantley.
You don't see that very often. A breaking ball at the bottom of the zone that McCann does not get down and block and prevent from going between his legs. That's exactly what happened. He anticipates it, but he just doesn't get the tailgate down. Therefore, the ball stays down and right through the wickets. And another run here for the Tribe.
Meanwhile, Napoli moves up to third, so the infield coming in for the Tigers. Here's the 1-1. 1-2 now, the count on Yan Gomes. Pretty good this year, .353 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, hitting well with runners in scoring position, but otherwise not having a good year at all. He must be concentrating more when he has runners in scoring position. His overall batting average at 189.
I was looking at the breakdown on Gomes' numbers. He hits .131 against right-handed pitchers. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Tigers will try and cut down a run on a ball hit directly at an infielder. The 1-2. Driven to center field. Goes on the move. Still going back. That ball is over his head up against the wall. Another run scores. Gomes takes the turn and stops with a double.
Regardless of what the numbers say regarding Gomes and his batting average, against Anibal Sanchez, he is a .500 hitter. And he is now 7 for 13 against Anibal Sanchez, which is actually better than .500.
Well, the Indians are getting it done with men in scoring position. 3 for 3 tonight.
They were pretty good with runners in scoring position last night, too.
Here is Lonnie Chisenhall. Ball inside, 1-0.
And they are 8 for 14 in the series with runners in scoring position. The Tribe.
Oh for 1 for Chisenhall. Four runs on 3 hits now for the Indians, and Kyle Ryan starting to warm up in the Detroit bullpen. Here's the 2-0 in there. 2 balls and 1 strike. Seventh man to bat in the inning, and still only 1 out. Driven in the air to right field. JD going back, has room. Runner will tag. And the throw to third, not in time. Hits the runner, but not far enough away. 2 gone. With a man at third now for Juan Uribe. Ranley, Napoli, and Gomes all with RBIs in the inning. Another scoring and a wild pitch. Uribe struck out back in the third. Bouncing ball to short, and right there is Iglesias. That'll end the inning. However, Tribe gets 4.
Have had their chances in this contest against Kluber. They had a runner on third base and with just 1 out, and then a ground ball to the first baseman thrown out at home was Castellanos. Kinsler punched out. Then the 4th inning, they had runners all over the base paths and a double play ball off the bat of McCann. Upton probably should have taken off. Well, he should have taken off, and that would have been a double play. And then another strikeout of Anthony Goes. So the Tigers have already stranded 5 in the game.
Kluber has gone 4 hits, no runs, couple of walks, and 3 strikeouts. And has extricated himself from a couple of jams. Jose Iglesias leads it off as we go to the top of the 5th inning here in Cleveland. It's now 4-0 Indians. Iglesias, then Kinsler and J.D. Martinez. Here is Kluber's 0-1. Slapped down the right field line, foul.
And Kluber continuing to do exactly in this particular start as he did 10 days ago. Not a lot of four-seam fastballs thrown to the Tigers hitters, even though that pitch gets up to 96 for him. Cutters and sinkers and breaking balls.
Here's the 0-2. A really good double play combinations in this series. Of course, Iglesias and Kinsler for the Tigers, Kipnis and Lindor for the Indians. Brad was saying before the game today the best double play combination he played against was Vizquel and Alomar.
Yeah, we talked about them at length last night.
They were a show. There's a swing and a miss, and Iglesias goes down. 1 out here in the 5th. Hey fans, don't forget to support breast health awareness and pick out the park on Mother's Day, May 8th. The Tigers hosting the Rangers, 1:10 p.m. Get a ticket plus a special Pink Out the Park t-shirt by purchasing at tigers.com/pinkouts.
Yeah, Vizquel wasn't known as much for his bat as Alomar was, but he was a flashy defender at shortstop and won a ton of Gold Gloves, as did Alomar.
And I often wondered why Vizquel really wasn't appreciated for what he did offensively. More than 2,800 hits. Boy, Lindor picked that one up like there was no problem at all in the backhand.
Picking and grinning.
2 gone. There's Omar, who spent a lot of years here in Cleveland playing some really good defense. Was on some really good teams.
They love him here in Cleveland.
24 major league seasons. He'll be matching against Jim Leland in the WBC. J.D. Martinez. Strike 1 on Martinez, who is 0 for 2. Fly out, ground out. Oh, 2 now on J.D. Martinez is one of the few Tigers starters that has not been given a day off, a game day off. Now they do have scheduled off days like the Tigers had on Monday here in Cleveland. And Brad said he's thinking about it. And down he goes. J.D. tonight is 0 for 3. Another strikeout for Kluber. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
We go to the bottom of the 5th inning, and let's check in now with John Keating.
There is some rain in the area that we hope holds off, but the A team, the Class A team for the Indians in Lynchburg, Virginia, had one game suspended on Monday, one game canceled on Tuesday. They were planning to play a triple header against Potomac today before wiser heads prevailed, and they decided to play only a doubleheader and then one game on Monday. But Mario and Rod, there was one game in Major League history, or one day, in which a triple header was scheduled. It was the Pirates and the Reds. They played 3 games in 5 hours.
Oh my goodness.
That's how you get it done.
I'm surprised it wasn't the Cubs, because Ernie Banks wanted to always play 2, didn't he? Yeah. All right, Keats, thanks.
You got it.
Triple headers, I mean, that's got to be dangerous for your pitching staff.
Not only the pitching staff, but your players, too. And guys at this level of professional baseball cannot play 3 games in one day.
Well, here it is 4-0. The Indians on top. Sanchez going back to work after a rough 4th inning in which they got 3 on RBI hits and 1 scored on a wild pitch. Naquin looks at a strike. See you later. He's punched out of there.
Second time he's punched out Naquin with the same fastball. Looking. This fastball pinpoint control down and away.
That'll bring out Carlos Santana.
There's a look at it.
Not a whole lot Naquin could do with that pitch. And he is rung up. Santana, a couple of walks and a run scored. Speaking of the minor leagues, did you see one of the Tigers' top prospects, Christian Stewart, down on A-ball, hit his 9th home run already? Yeah.
Christian Stewart.
Big left-handed power bat. 1 ball and 1 strike.
That's something that Jim Leland said he gets to do a lot of these days. He gets a chance to go down to minor leagues and see the AAA kids, the AA kids, and also the kids in A-ball. I wanted to ask him that question about, he's been a manager for so long. I mean, he's been in the uniform, but now he's out of the uniform, in the commissioner's office, in the front office with the Tigers and Alavila and all those meetings. I was just wondering what he learned possibly in all those meetings that he didn't quite learn when he was a manager.
Well, I'm sure they've been enlightening, that's for sure. Here are the numbers on the young man we were talking about, Christian Stewart, who is out of Tennessee, University of Tennessee. Average still a little bit low, but 9 home runs, 18 RBIs.
He is a first-round draft choice, so it may not be long before we see Mr. Christian Stewart in the big leagues if he continues to put up numbers like he's put up in the first month of the season.
Gibness looks at a strike, going 1. Couple of punch outs for Gibness, 2 out of 6 that Sanchez has.
And Sanchez has gotten with that changeup a couple times.
0-2. Hammered on the ground to first base with right Ed Cabrera. Sanchez rebounds with a 1-2-3 fifth.
Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. And by Chevrolet, more than you expect for less than you imagine. It continues to be cloudy and overcast here, but the rain has stayed away, and the Indians have a 4-0 lead over the Tigers as we go to the top of the 6th.
This downtown area is rocking here this evening. The Cavaliers will play a game in about an hour.
Yeah, they've got a lot of the downtown area roped off. They've got a lot of tents, a lot of parties going on.
Yeah, bands over there getting down.
Here's Cabrera. Tigers trying to get the bats going now. Cabrera, Martinez, and Upton. Middle three in the lineup. Facing Corey Kluber. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Single strikeout for Cabrera tonight. Came in batting 4 or make it 349 lifetime in this ballpark. Little chopper slowly toward third. On the charge there is Uribe. 1 out. Here is the Chevy Silverado most dependable player, and it's this guy right here, Victor Martinez.
One of 2 players since 1974 to hit 300, both left-handed and right-handed. The only other player is going to the Hall of Fame, and that would be Chipper Jones.
Quite a career for Victor.
You got Chipper getting in, don't you?
I do. Yep.
And Wayne Capone, what was it, Larry Wayne? Larry Wayne Jones. Chip off the old block.
Larry, never heard him called Larry.
Oh, in New York they called him Larry all
Did
the
they?
time. And the Mets fans, oh my goodness.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
They used to chant his name.
Larry.
And he used to wear them out.
Victor is 0 for 2, ground out, fly out. 337 now for Martinez.
That really said it all. Since that say since 74.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a lot. It's a long time.
And there's only 2 of them. Career 300 hitter. Victor won batting titles when he was playing in the minor leagues, though, when he came up.
Yeah, he won a couple of them.
Yeah, in the Cleveland Indians minor league system.
Right back up the middle and right through into center field, a 1-out single. Time for T-Mobile's greater coverage of baseball. We've been talking about this guy for the last couple of nights, and well, Jake Arrieta just continues to get it done.
He joins Randy Johnson as the only pitcher to win the first 6 starts in a season following the Cy Young. Last 26 starts, look at those numbers. 25 quality starts, 22-1. 22-1.
You saw the big unit in Arizona, I mean, on a daily basis, and he was really, really good, and obviously one of those guys that was dominant. But these numbers here by Arrieta are like all alone right now.
Well, they're crazy numbers, really. They're like, what kind of games are kids playing these days? PlayStation? They still playing PlayStation?
I think so.
Or am I on the? Am I a little tardy?
Yeah, I got to think about that. I'm not sure what my kid. I'm sure it's probably obsolete by now.
Yeah, whatever. Go get him.
Upton had a double in the 4th. He is 1 for 2. Missed it inside.
I saw Randy Johnson win 4 straight Cy Youngs. I saw every last start for 4 straight years, and he won 4 Cy Youngs. Incredible. Incredible.
Kluber now with the 2-0. Randy seemed to be one of those guys where when you knew he was pitching, you might just get sick that day.
Oh yeah, if you were a right-hander, you were pulling a hamstring on the day that Randy Johnson was going to toe the rubber. Not only, you didn't have to be left-handed. If you were a right-hander, you came in with a little illness. He was mean too, and a mean streak in him.
So Kluber now is falling behind, 3-0 on Upton. Three and 1. Tigers have let Kluber off the hook here a couple of times. They had the bases loaded in the 2nd, and 1st and 3rd, nobody out in the 4th. Either time were they able to score. Upton now a 6-game hitting streak.
Bouncing ball to short. Lindor. He'll fire to second. There's one. Relay to first. Is a double play. It goes 6-4-3. Tigers face the Rangers at 1:10 p.m. Be sure to arrive early for the special pregame on the field clinic hosted by Tigers players and coaches. Visit tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER and learn from the best. The on-field clinic always one of the highlights of the year for fans. Here's Francisco Lindor to get things started here in the bottom of the 6th. Tribe on top 4-0. Lindor takes ball 1. Breakdown on Sanchez through 75. He has thrown 45 strikes. Lindor looks at a strike on the outer edge. 1-1.
He had the bad inning after hitting one and walking one and giving up 3 straight hits, and that's how the Tribe had put 4 on the board. But other than that, he's thrown most of his pitches at the bottom of the zone, and he really hasn't looked all that bad. I mean, in his last outing, he had what, 9 strikeouts and 7 walks?
Yeah. Well, at one point tonight, he retired 8 straight, and then that 4th inning happened. The leadoff walk is what got it started. Lindor shoots a ground ball slowly down the first base line. Miggy will tag him, and Lindor tried to dive into the bat. 1 gone now. Time for a game break, and here's Trevor Thompson. All right, Trev, thanks. Right now it's 4-0 here in Cleveland. And here is Michael Brantley, who singled to drive in a run back in the 4th. The RBI, the 3rd of the year for Brantley. Here's the 0-1. Went around.
There are times where you want to dive in the first place when you're trying to elude a tag, but this particular situation, when you're out by as many feet as Lindor was, no need to dive. I mean, we've seen some guys that can really run, really separate some shoulders, dislocated fingers, and that's the last thing this talented youngster needs.
Here's the 0-2.
It's almost like Miggy put both hands up to say, then what are you doing?
Exactly. He had the look on his face that was a little bit surprised.
Miggy knows how special Lindor is to the game. He's good for the game of baseball. Remember when Miggy got hurt last year, Mark Burley of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Popped up. 3rd base side. 2 gone.
When Miggy went on the disabled list, Mark Burley said, "It is good for us as pitchers because we don't have to face Miguel Cabrera anymore, but it is bad for baseball for him not to be playing."
Yeah, you want your stars to be out there, and I agree. I mean, obviously you want to win ball games, and it certainly helps your chances if Miguel Cabrera is not in the Tigers lineup, but it does not help baseball. And same goes with Lindor, any other outstanding player in the league. Here is Napoli. Doubled in a run. He sliced one down the right field line to get a run in back to the 4th. A couple of RBIs in the series now for Napoli. Tigers have out-hit the Indians 5-3.
Out-hit them last night too.
And that's the tough part of this game so far. They have stranded 5 on the bases, and they're trailing 4-0.
And Napoli did not like that last fastball called a strike by Gabe Morales, who otherwise had a pretty good game here tonight. Hadn't noticed him much. When you don't notice the umpire, they're usually doing a pretty good job.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Nope, fouled it back. He got a piece of it to stay alive. 1-2. The count stays on Napoli, who has a tendency of chasing that pitch out of the strike zone. That time he got a piece of it.
And Tigers have been exploiting that weakness of Napoli for a couple of years now in the elevated fastball.
And that one is on the inside part of the plate, knee high. See you later.
How about the movement on this changeup?
Perfectly located in a 1-2-3 inning for Sanchez. Tigers Baseball live with the MLB.com at bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day. Live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or your tablets. A lot of Tigers fans here in Cleveland, which is typically the case, and they're hoping the offense can wake up here soon. Nick Castellanos will get it started against Corey Kluber here in the 7th. 4-0 Cleveland. They have not been able to get Castellanos out. Had 2 hits last night, 2 more tonight. And that average now is up to 382. Here's the 1-0. Big swing there by Nick.
Good fastball, 93, cut fastball. And right by Castellanos. He hasn't missed many this year, Nick. 205, 7th inning or later last year for Castellanos. This year, 430, 7th inning or later. That's clutch.
There are certain stats that really tell you a lot about guys, and that 7th inning or later certainly, I think, is one of those stats.
Because you're usually doing it against a hard thrower.
Good point.
Somebody in the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th. Somebody that's real good. Because we know most starters are only going 6 these days.
And typically the game's on the line at that point. Hey, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Kluber now ready with the 2-2. Bouncing ball to short. Lindor waits on it. Better get rid of it in a hurry. And Castellanos almost beat it out. Nick gets down the line a lot better this year than he has in the past. Now you don't want to look at this. It was really close. It seemed like Lindor kind of nonchalanted that play a little bit.
No doubt about that. He was out. And Lindor really took his time. Kluber came into this particular contest in 3 starts here at Progressive Field. His earned run average was .794, and he had lost 2 games, hadn't won a game. Much better on the road, but his numbers quite different here. Although the Tigers did have a couple of opportunities to put some blemishes on his ERA here this evening.
Yeah, they loaded the bases with 1 out in the 2nd, but a fielder's choice ground ball and a strikeout ended that inning. And then Upton had a base running error with runners at 1st and 3rd in the 4th inning and nobody out. They got a double play without scoring a run. One ball, 1 strike on James McCann. It was McCann that bounced into that double play in the 4th. He also has a walk tonight.
Tribe have turned a couple of double plays behind Kluber today.
Do you get the feeling, Rod, that McCann, timing wise, is still not there offensively?
You took the words right out of my mouth. He's not there. It's going to be a ways before he really, can give you some consistent at bats because of the fact that he has missed some time, and it's tough to hit up here when you've missed time at this early in the season.
2-2 now on McCann.
And I'm sure even though he's playing here today and he played last night, he's probably not 100% healthy. He's good enough to play, don't get me wrong, but he's probably not 100% healthy.
Ball 3 high, 3-2.
And to take that a step further, very few on the field are 100% healthy.
Well, that's a good point.
After spring training starts, there's always some kind of little nagging, aching injury that you are dealing with.
Full count pitch. McCann able to spoil a pretty good pitch there by Kluber. James had 16 at bats down in the minor leagues before coming back up. Didn't have a whole lot of success, but they deemed him healthy. Another foul back out of play. So he continues to battle Kluber here.
Kluber pitch count in pretty good shape too. He's only thrown 86. He's in the 7th. 86 total pitches, 28 the ball, so he's been attacking that strike zone.
And again the 3-2 to the shortstop Lindor. 1 step on the outfield grass to throw him out. 2 gone. And that will bring up Anthony Gose. Gose will walk into strikeout.
And Tigers need to find someone else to hit it to. 4 of the last 6 outs have gone to Francisco Lindor, their shortstop.
Hasn't really worked out all that well, has it?
We know he can play.
Gose stands in now with 2 outs. swing and a miss right over the top. Cameron Maybin is still not quite close enough to get back to the big league level. Of course, they're testing out that shoulder again that he injured while he was rehabbing for the bad wrist. And he was throwing at 120 feet yesterday. There's a chopper to Lindor. It's a tough play, and he'll throw to first in time.
He showed some arm strength at that time. Man.
Coming up, the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Jeff Glover and Associates Realtors. Sanchez 4 runs on 3 hits in the 4th inning. Otherwise, he is not allowed a hit tonight. But Corey Kluber has been awfully good.
He really has. He's really changed the way that he's pitched against the Tigers the last few times that he's gone up against them. No longer trying to overpower them, but mixing in lots of breaking balls, lots of first pitch curveballs, and then going to the fastball after the Tigers start to look for the off-speed stuff. And he's kind of had his way against them this season.
Well, these Tigers runners in scoring position numbers also a big part of this series. Just 2 for 12 so far.
And the Tigers offense came in rolling after what they did in Minnesota.
Yan Gomes, a comebacker to the mound that is snagged by Sanchez. 1 gone. So Anibal now has had 2 stretches, one of retiring 8 straight and now 9 straight. He could just erase that 4th inning. Here's Chisenhall. Lonnie is 0 for 2, ground out flyout. Fouled back 0-1. Chisenhall did not play last night. He starts here tonight. Actually, Lonnie did get into the game as a defensive replacement. Didn't start last night. Fouled away 0-2.
Indians have several offensive players off to sluggish starts, and Chisenhall would be one of those. His batting average is under the Mendoza line. He checks in at 185, so Terry Francona just trying to find anybody to provide some offense.
Bouncing ball foul down the first base line.
Here is our Xfinity high-speed pitch on Anibal Sanchez. He's had a good firm fastball all night long. He's topped out at 92, and he's gone as low as 73 with either his changeup or one of his slow curveballs.
Line to right, base hit.
It's not a good 0-2 pitch. It's a fastball that is right down the middle. Big league hitters don't miss these. Lefties love the ball down too.
First hit of the night for Chisenhall, and for the Indians, only their 4th hit tonight. Juan Uribe. Uribe looks at a ball low.
I know a lot of you people have inquired about the noise that you're hearing in the background. Well, the Cavaliers are playing the Atlanta Hawks again tonight. And they've got I guess they got a concert going on over there, don't they?
Yeah. There's a band out there.
Yeah. You see all kind of people over there.
The basketball arena and Progressive Field kind of butt up against each other, so they share a common area. There you go. There's Quicken Loans Arena.
You don't even have to walk outdoors to get into Quicken Loan Arena, right?
I don't believe so.
You think we can get in that game later on?
Yeah, we're big timers.
Let's just walk underneath.
Just walk right on in.
I'm with Mario and Pippa.
Go right ahead, sir.
In your John Keating voice.
Oh, you got me. 1-0 on Uribe. Ball inside, and 2 balls, no strikes to count. Keats is big time too. I'm sure he's got some peeps that can get us in.
Oh, he's got connections in every sport.
Now I'm sure Uribe is going to come uncorked here on the 2-0 pitch. No, he took it down low, 3-0. Uribe's been known for a long time as a very good defensive third baseman. Really, since 2011, has had the best defensive numbers among all third basemen.
When he was a baby, he was a shortstop in the big leagues.
He will take a 4-pitch walk. First and second now with 1 out. Kyle Ryan was warming earlier. He is again up in the Tigers bullpen.
Tigers bullpen has been really good this year. Outstanding bullpen.
But as Jim Leland said before he left the air with us here tonight, earlier, he said that, you know, we got to get our starters to go deeper because you've got to be able to rest this bullpen a little bit more.
Yeah, because if you continue to use them at the pace that you're using them now, they will not be outstanding once the season is over.
And Jim would always say that's one of the toughest parts of managing is managing your bullpen and keeping them fresh.
He always talked about the 6th inning, that bridge inning, getting to the back end of your bullpen with the lead. It was always difficult to find that guy to come in the 6th to make sure that the game didn't get out of hand.
One and one on Tyler Naquin. A couple of strikeouts against Sanchez tonight. Ball is about to throw his 100th pitch of the evening. Here it is. 2-1.
Man, really only one stressful inning for Anibal. It was the 4th, and that was the inning where the Cleveland Indians scored 4 runs. Every other inning, the pitch count pretty good.
Swing and a miss. Naquin a big hack there. 2-2.
And Naquin really has had no chance at putting the ball in play against Anibal Sanchez. Here's a changeup that's just been dirty today, fading away from him, and he's punched him out with 2 fastballs. Punched him out 2 fastballs looking.
High ball 3. Top of the order waiting on deck, Santana. Little chopper slowly towards second. Kinsler does not tag the runner, safe there. Throw back to second base, and he just got in. 2 gone.
And Brad is having them look at something out of the baseline is what Brad is asking.
And I think
and if that's not out of the baseline,
nothing is.
Nothing is.
And Brad said, look, this one was pretty obvious. It's Ron Culpa there, the second base umpire. He's on the grass there, avoiding the tag. So they will put the headsets on and challenge here. Jerry Meals is the crew chief, the umpire with the glasses on to your left. The crew chief is always involved in the challenges with the headsets on, along with the umpire that made the call in question. And that would be Ron Culpa on the right. Person in the middle, I have no idea who he is.
He's local.
He's from MLB.
He carries the headsets.
He does. Take another look.
And it looks like he tagged him too.
Yeah,
Ron Culpa just couldn't see it.
I thought he tagged him.
Yeah, he tagged him in the back. But the angle that Ron Culpa had, he obviously could not see Kinsler applying the tag to the back there of Napoli. Actually, who was that? Uribe?
Uribe. Kinsler already back on the bench.
Well, he knows he tagged him. How about that?
He's holding his bat up to the heater to get it warmed up. Yep, you're out.
Ian made that call.
I gotta be said. So that'll end the inning. That'll be a double play. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. FS1 is back as the Rangers take on your Tigers in a game you can see only on FS1. The action begins at 12:30 p.m. Eastern on FS1 or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Texas Rangers in second place entering play tonight. They've got Prince Fielder coming to town. So the Tigers now have Iglesias, Kinsler, and J.D. Martinez in the eighth. 4 runs on 4 hits for the Indians. Tigers have no runs on 5 hits.
And Kluber looking to go 8 innings in back-to-back starts against the Tigers this year. He beat them at Comerica Park on April 23rd, and that's his only win of the year.
8th inning is underway. A strike called on Iglesias.
And the only difference is he walked 2 here so far tonight. Didn't walk any in that contest and had 10 strikeouts.
And he's been helped out by a couple of double plays tonight.
Ooh, that's always a good thing. Ooh.
One almost hit him. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bouncing ball left side. Lindor, quick release. Fancy smooth.
He has made the last 5 outs. 6 of the last 8. And he knows who's running, so he knows how quickly on some guys he needs to get the ball out of the glove and across the diamond, and on some guys he can just simply take his time.
Now Ian Kinsler. I said this last night, I'll say it again, but if you're a pitcher for the Indians, it's awfully comforting to know that you have a guy like Lindor that can go to the hole and make the tough plays. Kinsler looks at a strike 0-1. His ability alone has to help out the pitching staff. I know it helped out Tomlin last night. Ian tonight is 0 for 3. He'll take the ball outside. 1-1 the count. One and two.
That is a good cut fastball there. Almost acts like a slider. It has that much movement to it.
Well, in his 2 starts against the Tigers this year, he has looked a lot more like the 2014 Cy Young winner.
Yes, he has.
That was an outstanding pitch.
And he's getting something here tonight that he normally doesn't get from his teammates, and that's some runs.
Another strikeout for Kluber, 2 gone.
It's the second time today that he has punched Ian Kinsler out with a 93-mile-per-hour fastball up at the top of the zone. Here's your strikeout artist. And per 9 innings since the beginning of the 14th season, Kershaw tops the list. Sale, Scherzer, Strasburg, and Kluber. 2 lefties head the list.
6 of them tonight now for Kluber. Ball inside to J.D. Martinez. Strikeout, ground out, fly out tonight for Martinez. Kluber very methodically has gone about his business tonight. Pitched around a couple of early jams, including the bases loaded with 1 out. Had some control troubles early in this game, but quickly straightened them out. He walked back-to-back hitters back in the second, and they loaded the bases against him. That may have been the Tigers' best chance to get to him. Here's the 1-1. One and two. Now Kluber ready with the 1-2 pitch. On the ground to the shortstop Lindor on 1 hop. And that'll be a 1-2-3 8th inning. Kluber has retired 7 straight.
Call of the game. Anibal Sanchez stayed out there longer in this outing as he has all season long, but it was the 4th inning where he gave up 3 hits and 4 runs and threw a total of 26 pitches in that inning that kind of sealed his fate here this evening. The rest of the game, he was outstanding. No runs, only 12 pitches per inning in the other 6 innings he pitched here today.
So the Tigers go to the bullpen now. It's a Wellside Windows pitching change. Kyle Ryan, the left-hander, comes on.
Kyle Ryan was one of their better pitchers in spring training, and he has carried that over into the month of April and now into the month of May. He's off to an outstanding start. The ERA sits at 2.13 for the left-hander.
Carlos Santana batting right-handed for the first time tonight. Santana has a couple of walks and a run scored. Santana has struggled against lefties this year. He bats just 179 versus southpaws. He'll be followed by Kipnis and Lindor. 2-1. Not sure Ryan going into spring training was probably someone the Tigers had penciled into their bullpen, but because of certain circumstances, here he is, and he's done extremely well this year.
Well, all things being equal, he probably would not have made the 25-man roster had guys like Norris and Hardy and Alex Wilson been healthy when the season began. But then he pitched so well in the month of April is that when Brad started sending other guys down after the other guys became healthy, Ryan's still here.
Here he is. Tigers offense has been the issue tonight. They've not been able to get anything going against Corey Kluber. Down the left field line, hit well. That ball is against the wall. Fielded straight off the wall by Upton. He'll get it quickly back in there and hold him to a single. A bullet hit off that high wall in the left.
For someone that has really not played in this ballpark all that often, and Jay Up plays this ball perfectly and lets it airmail all the way into Ian Kinsler. Kinsler waiting to apply the tag to Santana, but he stayed at first.
Leadoff man on, and here is Jason Kipnis. He's got to be thrilled that Sanchez is out of the game. Couple of strikeouts and a ground out to first, showing bunt.
Yeah, sacrifice bunting is something that Terry Francona does not do a lot of. They all have but 3 as a team. Only 1 position player has a sac bunt. Must be one of the numbers they look at as far as not giving away outs, huh?
Yeah. Yep. The percentages are better if you don't give away the outs. It's fouled back out of play. But I will still say I still think there are instances in the course of a ball game where the bunt is a good play.
I would agree with that.
You know, late in games, maybe get a leadoff double in a tie game in the 9th inning, bunt him to third where he can score on a fly ball or a pass ball. There's a ball outside. 2-1. Ground ball to second, should be 2. Kinsler, Iglesias, and a double play.
Second one the Tigers have turned today. Turned one last half inning. Real nice feed, nice firm feed. And by Ian Kinsler to the shortstop Iglesias, and with Santana running, plenty of time for Iglesias to take his time and then fire a strike across the diamond to Miguel. And Kyle Ryan, he likes it.
Tigers also got a double play in the first inning, so they've turned 3 tonight.
Yeah, Lindor hit into 1.
Here comes Lindor. Tigers in the 9th inning will have Cabrera, Victor Martinez, and Justin Upton.
Here's the 1-0. Slowly toward third. Castellanos barehanding. Look at that play for the out.
That was the only way that he was going to make that play.
A do or die by Nick Castellanos.
He getting it done on both sides of the ball.
Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. Four nothing as we go to the top of the ninth inning in Cleveland.
Let's take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. Corey Kluber has been on one all night tonight. Really, the Tigers have not been able to barrel him up. He started the game by throwing lots of good fastballs and cutters outside. Then he started throwing that two-seam fastball back inside to the left-handers, elevating some fastballs as well. He's also thrown 14 ground ball outs in this particular contest, and he's only gotten 6 strikeouts. So he's looking for the complete game here tonight against the Tigers.
And Kluber goes to work against Miguel Cabrera, who skies one in the air to right field. Deep, but not deep enough. 1 pitch, 1 out. Kluber now has retired 8 straight. And here's Victor Martinez. Kluber last year had 4 complete games. And that tied for the league lead in the American League. So he's gunning for another one here tonight.
He is looking tonight like the Corey Kluber that was able to win the Cy Young Award back in 2014, where he had that monster September and basically snatched it away from King Felix of the Seattle Mariners.
How about this? 1 earned run in his last 19 1/3 against the Tigers.
And they used to wear him out. And it started last year. Tigers were wearing Kluber out at the beginning of the season.
Here's the 1-0.
That's what he started to do, though. Breaking balls, changeups, cut fastballs, not trying to overpower a good fastball hitting team, and it's worked to his advantage.
Indians are pretty much daring Martinez hit the ball the other way. They are way around to the right side. Here's the 1-1. Almost hit him up and in. Here's the defensive alignment. They'll get back out of play. 2-2 on Victor Martinez. Justin Upton waiting on deck. The most that Kluber has thrown in a single start this year, 109 pitches against Tampa in his second start of the season. He's just about there. He's at 106. Victor has the last Tigers hit, and that was way back in the 6th. But chase that ball a little bit too high.
You saw the sign put down by Yan Gomes. When you see the finger go down in the circular motion, they're asking for the fastball, but they're asking for the two-seam fastball. But then he's asking for the two-seam fastball up, and you very seldom see that. Most guys are throwing four-seam fastballs upstairs.
Toward left field. Ball hit well, and Brantley able to run it down. Sliced it away from Brantley.
Well, just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, and it is brought to you by Miller Lite. For the second consecutive evening, Gomes doubles and drives in a big run. Actually, that was Napoli who doubled and drove in a run. Gomes did as much tonight here against Anibal Sanchez. Napoli scored. I knew a Napoli was in there somewhere.
He was in there somewhere. You got him. So now Upton is the last chance for the Tigers. Kluber 1 out away from his first complete game of the year. Upton 2-bagger in the 4th. Otherwise, a couple of ground balls. One of them a double play.
And he's on the verge of throwing a shutout here tonight, which is not an easy thing to do against the Tigers offense that, by and large, has been swinging the bats very well for the last 8 or 9 days. I think Corey Kluber set the tone for this game in the very first inning, where he threw 15 pitches, 14 of which were strikes. He came right after him.
Nasty. You also got the feeling that if they didn't get to him early, even the chances they had, that he would settle in, and he did.
Yeah, they had chances in the 2nd, and they also had chances in the 4th.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and Corey Kluber throws a 5-hit shutout at the Tigers tonight.
Corey Kluber was absolutely dirty here tonight against Tigers bats.
He needed just 2 hours and 19 minutes to do it as well. And the Indians have won the first 2 in this series. Final score tonight 4-0. Back with more from Cleveland.